It is something that affects most of us, right? So let's dive into this. So you probably dealt with some kind of impulsive spending. Impulsive spending, when we spend without intention, when we spend without really thinking through it, it's a symptom of a bigger problem. In fact, that's not really even the problem that you need to be solving, because impulsive spending is not the real problem that you're dealing with. And if you feel that way, if you're trying to solve that problem, you've probably been making it worse. Let me explain a little bit. So the real problem is that you're not prioritizing your needs, your happiness, joy, mental health. These are all needs that we do not prioritize, especially as moms. The thing is that the industry, all the gurus, all the people out there, when they're talking about, building wealth or getting out of debt or all these things, they tell you don't indulge your wants. Don't indulge, eat rice and beans, or don't take vacations, or just don't spend money, right? Focus all your money on whatever it is that you're trying to do. And so there are times where you can do that, totally okay. But to say that that is just what you do and that's how you achieve your goals, it does not work that way. I've had clients do stuff, but it's usually temporarily. It's like a month or two. It's never like a habit. It's not a habit that we're creating. Because think about it. When we're stressed about our money, what do? We're trying to save as much money, right? When we're living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe we have a big expense coming up, we get stressed. We're like, oh, we got to find the money. We got to save the money. First things to go. What's to go? Entertainment, fun, self-care, convenience items, all these things. So you're cutting your hair salon, you're cutting the nail salon, you're cutting streaming services, all the fun stuff. Anything that is not providing safety or wellness is going, right? But the problem is that's actually causing a bigger problem in your life. Talk about why this is. We're going to talk about this impulsive spending and what we can do about it so that we can actually enjoy spending our money without feeling guilty all the time. If you can relate to the guilt, I want to hear it in the comments. Tell me. Let me know, because I know I hear about it all the time. And like I said, it actually goes deeper than just a good sale. That's not really the problem there. That's not really what we're going to focus on. When we spend impulsively, why do we do it? We're bored. We're sad. Maybe we want to improve our surroundings, our home. Maybe we want to decorate or organize. What does decorating and organizing do? Making us feel better, right? And so, and pretty much in every scenario, you're trying to make yourself feel better, right? You're trying to make your life better. That's when we do those impulsive things, in the impulsive spending. And there's a reason why shopping is actually a common coping mechanism when you're feeling depressed or stressed or things like that. But when you're doing impulsive spending, it's not about what you're actually buying. It's about the actual purchase. That's what you're feeling. You're feeling that release, that good feeling after you're making the purchase or after you're getting a sale. That purchase makes you feel better. It's not, you could buy anything. It's going to make you feel that way. So it's not about the purpose. So that you can see how there's missing that intentionality where you're spending money just to feel good. So first, we really need to understand what triggers our impulsive spending, right? Then we can work on really changing it. So in my intentional spending method, one of the best ways that we can do this is to actually create intentionality in your spending every month. Because when you spend impulsively, if you are intentional about everything else and you're creating your spending plan every month and you have your plan for your savings and you're doing all the intentional stuff, it's going to stand out, right? If you spend more money than you expected or that you wanted to on something, it's going to stand out because you're watching it, because you're aware. So that's one of the first things I do with my clients in the intentional spending method, is to get that intentionality put in there so that we can see what's going on and what's not working. Your money system is so unique. It looks different for everybody. And that's the great part that it can be so different for everybody. There's no right or wrong way. You're really looking to just make sure that you're having that intention behind what you're spending your money on. So we talked about why, right? We talked about how the reason we spend money impulsively is we feel like it needs not being met. Okay. And if our needs aren't being met, if we're not happy, if we're stressed, if we're frustrated, whatever it is, we have that feeling, we're looking for a way to feel better. And that's when we're going to turn to shopping and impulsively spending. When we're stressed and we want to feel better, one way what we can do to actually be proactive is actually practice self-care. It seems simple, right? But what self-care actually does, it gives us permission to indulge ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to do something that is just for us. Let's just be selfish, right? And as moms, how often do we get to do that? Because I don't know about you, like my whole day is all about kids, husband, house, it takes a lot for me to be able to set aside just time for Erica. And so self-care, when we are able to participate, able to do this regularly, it's been shown to lower anxiety, lower your stress, less frustration, less anger. You're going to have more happiness. You're going to feel better. You're probably going to have more energy. All these good things, right? But if you go and if you went into your spending plan and you just remove all that stuff that brings you joy and happiness, that's why you have the stress and the anger and the hopelessness. You have no clue what to do, which, like I said, a lot of people in the industry would tell you that. And so instead, what I have my clients do is I have them, every single one of them has in their spending plan something that's for them, something that they spend money on and that is for them. Even when they feel a little guilty about it, we talk through it. We try to figure it out. We find the sources. And that's going to lead to my second way that we can actually work to be proactive. But if you look at it, if you're able to get yourself in a state of feeling better, then you're not going to search for those outside sources to do that. A second way that we can actually be proactive in this is create roadblocks to the spending. Once we are able to see that, like I said before, when when you're adding that intentionality and you're able to see when the impulsive spending is happening, you can put roadblocks in the way. So you can delete apps that you're spending money on, or you can unsubscribe from emails that seem to always get you. All those types of things. We can put roadblocks, make it harder to spend the money in the areas you don't want to spend. Now, if you want to spend money, I'm all for that too. If you want to go to Target and want to be able to feel good and want to set, and then maybe that's some of your self-care. Perfectly fine. Totally get that, and you should. But when you add the intentionality, it's no longer, I'm just going to Target to walk around and maybe I walk out with $300. Instead, it's like, you know what? I'm going to set aside $100 or $50 and I'm going to go to Target and I'm going to see what I'm just going to shop a little bit. But that's my money to just do what I want with. And you feel good about it and you set a limit to it. So it's intentional. And so you're more likely to come home with something you're going to use, right? So we will create those roadblocks to that spending that we want to avoid, and we add the intentionality to the spending we want to enjoy. Okay. Understanding what are the money blocks behind it. So many of us have money blocks that we don't even really know about. And I have had some that I didn't even realize until I became a coach. This is what we focus on with my clients. Now, understanding how something you believe to be true about your life or about your money is keeping you from your goals or causing self-sabotage. And a lot of it's really based in fear. And when you have that fear base, and when you're taking action from a place of fear or that negative perspective, you're going to be self-sabotaging. You're going to see these things happen. And so we really want to understand what is really behind that. What belief is really helping to kind of create that bad habit that we have? What can we do? So really understanding that, okay? Let me know in the comments if you know of any money blocks that you absolutely have and that you would have to work through. I know for me, there's a lot that I have in fear of success. And then I also had some in not feeling like I was smart enough to actually manage my money for a very, 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 very long time. I always thought it was just too hard, or that I was just bad at it and that I would never be able to do it. And of course, if I believe that, it must be true, right? Because I'm not going to change it if I believe it's me and not just the money, right? And so, but working through those, I was able to release that and be able to say, okay, no, if I do the research, if I take courses or I do whatever I have to do, if I learn how to do it, I can be good at it. I can be good at anything. And so it really opened from that limited mindset to a growth mindset, which is an amazing way to be able to really change your life. So now I'm going to talk about how you can actually have more money at the end of the month by indulging yourself. Okay. If you're able to be proactive and you're able to create some self-care or something that's going to help you feel better, right? That means you're going to be spending less money on the impulsiveness, right? You're not going to be impulsively spending money that you're not planning. So that means that your spending plan and your intentions you will be able to follow through with it a lot easier, right? Let me break that down, okay? Impulsive spending caused by not meeting our needs, not feeling good about ourselves or our life or our situation or whatever it is, right? When we don't have those needs met, can't talk tonight. That's caused by fear in a lot of cases. And it puts us in a situation where we feel like we can't spend money on ourselves. Like we can't spend money because we have all these other things going on. And instead we say, okay, well, I have to make sure everybody else is taken care of before I take care of myself. But let's face it, and this is well known. If you've been on an airplane, most people have seen a movie, everybody's heard this. When you're on the airplane, you put your own mask on first before anybody else, because you have to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of everybody else. I can tell you so much about this because what was it? Back in 2013, I had my first kid. Okay. And many of you first-time moms or remember being a first-time mom, it is rough. You remember it is rough. You're not sleeping. You don't know what you're doing wrong. You don't know what you're doing right. Like I didn't know which way was up or down. Like it was rough. And on top of all of that, I had postpartum depression and I didn't realize that at the time. And so being home by myself with a baby all day was taking a huge toll on me. And there were days where I just felt like I had to get out of the house. I just had to go do something, just do whatever, right? And I had a little social anxiety at that point. So I didn't really want to go to the park. Plus, parks didn't make me feel better. Spending made me feel better, right? And so I would go to Walmart or I'd go to Target and I'd spend hours there. And I'd just be walking around shopping as long as my son would let me, right? Until he woke up or until he started crying or needed to eat or whatever it was. And I'd sit there and I'd sit there with coffee and I would just be shopping and I'd walk out with a cart full of stuff that I rarely needed, like to be used in my house. So much so that I had it sitting in a pile generally for like 2 weeks before I'd even look at it. And so I was doing this regularly because I wanted to feel better and I didn't understand what was going on with me. Once I was able to understand that, I was able to say, okay, I need to do things for me to make me feel better. So I would get breaks from my husband where I'd be able to go for a few hours and just go and, drive or go to the library. I loved reading. So I'd be able to do that or go get a coffee or go grocery shopping by myself, whatever it was. But I got some alone time. And so that made me kind of refuel on top of, obviously taking care of the postpartum, but it made me feel better, right? And so when I felt better, I wasn't feeling the urge that I needed to seek out spending. And so our spending greatly dropped. Now we had other issues as well at that time, but with our spending in general, but it wasn't the impulsive ones. It wasn't what was causing a huge amount of debt at that point. And so, but really understanding that and seeing that difference, we were suddenly like, oh, okay, we're not putting as much money on the credit cards every month. We were feeling better, right? And so when we can identify what's causing it, why are we impulsively spending, and what we can do to get that feeling without having to spend, right? What can we do to take care of ourselves? And self-care doesn't have to be expensive either. You can get your nails done if you'd like. You can go to the public library and spend some time reading a book. That's free. You don't have to spend money on that. But you want to spend money, that's okay. You should spend some money if you need to, if you want to. If it doesn't matter if you need to or want to. If it helps you feel better about you, think about yourself, go do it. Don't feel guilty about it, because in the end, you're saving yourself a ton of money because you're not going to be spending impulsively. You're going to be more intentional with your goals and how everything is set up. you're not going to spend as much. So you'll feel like your income went up, even though you didn't. You just cut out a lot of the spending. And so taking away from this, I really want you to realize that there should be no guilt. You should never feel guilt about taking care of yourself and spending money on yourself, whether that is buying yourself a pair of shoes, buying yourself some other clothes, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, going and getting coffee twice a week, whatever it is that makes you feel good. You should not feel guilty about it. This money is meant to be spent. Okay. It's meant to create a life for you. It's meant to make you happy. Okay. Money gives us the opportunities to create the life that we want. Why are we going to hoard it and feel miserable while we're doing it? You're not. You're going to end up impulsively spending everywhere, and you're going to spend way more money that way. Okay. So I want to recap this for you, but for those of you that are listening and like, yes, Erica, that's exactly, I need to work on that. I need to understand this. I need your help. Let's have a wealth audit. Okay. It's a new month. I have opened up some new slots in my schedule. So we'll have a wealth audit. It's a 30-minute call, real quick, no pressure, no, nothing. We just chat. We're going to talk about your current system for how you manage your money and how do you build wealth. And we discuss opportunities inside of that can help you streamline your system so that you can reduce your stress and actually achieve your goals, right? Part of that is saying, hey, where are you spending money on you? Because that's important. And then finally, we talk about my intentional spending method and how it is completely unique. I created it myself. It's completely unique. I have not seen anybody have created a system like this, and how it can actually help you get past your obstacles, get past those blocks, get past your own self-sabotage, and really see a change in your life. It's super important that we figure this out because we want to create a life for ourselves. And yes, we want to do it for our families, but we should do it for ourselves as well, right? I actually want you guys to comment in the comments what you either do for self-care or what you will do for self-care. Make a commitment to it. Even if it's for a week, try it out. I promise you're going to feel better and you're going to actually spend less money. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's been insightful because I know so many of us, we just live with this guilt, and it's so frustrating as a coach to see that, because I just want to help everybody. I just want to push everybody, get everybody through everybody's money blocks, and I just want to help everybody. And I know that's not entirely possible, but that's how I feel. That's why I'm so passionate about this. And I will see you next week. Bye.